Viewer discretion is advised. This following movie contains graphic violence, gore, and nudity.
If you could be in any movie, what would it be and what character would you play?
Oh my god. I don't know. I've never really thought about... Well, okay, this is gonna sound crazy. I guess the first thing that popped in my brain is Resident Evil. But I think more about the games than I do the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably be Ada Wong, because she's the one that created, I guess helped create or made the T-virus.
Wait, why would you want to be a lady making the T-virus?
Because she a baddie.
Oh, you still are a person that makes a virus that kills the world in that universe.
I have to confirm that. I haven't really played the games in a while, so I don't know if she's the one that helps make it, or if she makes it, or if she did help making it, and then spreading it.
I have never played a Resident Evil game. All I know is that their fans aren't big on the action-adventure ones, but they're very big on the horror survival ones, because the action-adventure ones kind of take out all the scary parts, because you can have rocket launchers. And I think, is it Chris or Leon? I think Leon does a bunch of useless flips to dodge stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
Probably, because they had with the most recent one, obviously he's older, and people did a before when he was young, and now how he used to do all these dodges and stuff, and then now he's just moves slightly to the left or right. He got old man knees now.
Well, because also he doesn't, the flips the flips that he does in the game, the ones I've seen are useless. He doesn't need to do them.
I still like Leon. I think Chris is more like combat, because obviously he's in the army, or he's part of the special ops. So his group is always armed and ready. So is Leon.
Yeah,
there are some of them where you don't have weapons. I think, which is in the village one.
But he's a cop. Leon's a cop, and also Villagers.
No.
Isn't that Ethan Winters?
Yeah, but that's not Ethan. I mean, that's not Chris, is what I'm saying. The only people that I see consistently with weapons is Leon and Chris. And then I haven't played in a very long time, but the recent one that came out, when you're I forgot her name, but when you're her, she doesn't have any weapons, and you alternate between her and Chris. I mean, not Chris, Leon. I love how the topic was to choose what movie you would want to live in, and what character would you be, and I definitely didn't say that, and we started talking about Resident Evil.
Yeah, man, the video game, that movie.
I love those video games.
The movies are terrible, from what I remember.
I watch them as a guilty pleasure.
I would be Eddie Murphy's character from Trading Places, with him and Bill Aykroyd.
I've never watched that movie.
It's just a movie of some black guy who gets pulled into being rich by these white dudes but legit, they make a dollar bet to see how they could make this black guy who's a street guy rich, and then white guy Dan Aykroyd make him poor and how he couldn't survive, and it's a dollar bet, and they're millionaires. So literally, they destroyed a man's life just for $1. And at the end of the movie, Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy are rich. And the rich dudes, I think they're Bob and Mortimer, they end up poor because they were doing insider trading, but they got the wrong information. So Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd's characters literally made a bet for $1 if they could destroy their lives. And they did. So, but yeah, in that movie, Dan Aykroyd gets screwed over by them. And Eddie Murphy does technically become rich, but then after that, because everyone took it away from him afterwards. But after, once they found out the plan, they both became rich. They messed up the old men's lives, and then they were both like, "Hey, guess what? We're rich forever." Hello and welcome to Missing the Wagon, a pop culture review podcast. My name is Samuel, and with me today is my co-host Miri.
Hi guys.
How are you doing today, Miri?
Going great.
Sounds like it's going just swimmingly. Before we go to the next segment, how do you feel about the movie we are talking about today?
I wasn't really. I mean, from the things that I've heard about these movies and some that I have watched, which is not the beginning or middle, it's mostly towards the end. I just always figured they're like just over dramatic slashers.
I feel like most horror movies could be called overdramatic slashers, especially at this time period.
I think the ones that I've seen that I just can't help but roll my eyes, like the Scream ones. Well, I don't know how early it went back to, but
with Neve Campbell.
I have no idea which one I've watched, but those feel like are a little over the top. And then like I know what you
starts with a person being on their phone and then getting murdered by a person in their house.
I Know What You Did Last Summer
with Jennifer Love Hewitt.
I have no idea.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hewitt, yeah. Possibly, yeah. Those were a little. I think, yeah. Well, I've also seen the parodies of them, so those are just.
Well, yeah, because some kids accidentally hit a guy because they're drunking and driving. They like hide a body. And then somebody's like, I know what you did last summer. And then they start winding up dead or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty dramatic. Because I think that horror movie has one of the tropes that I did as a kid I didn't know was from older horror movies, where it's like, oh, I'm trying to run away from somebody and there's like a parade or something. So I'm like, oh, I'm so close to salvation. There'd be people to help me. And then the killer stops them before they get there. And because the thing is having like a parade or whatever, no one hears them. And I'm like, oh.
Is that like the part where like the beauty pageant thing?
Oh, in Scary Movie?
No, in I Know What You Did Last Summer? Is that what it was?
No, I think in I Know What You Did Last Summer, like someone's running down.
Either that or in Scream. I don't know.
Well, I do think that might be a scene in a horror movie where they're in a beauty pageant and they're like, look up, someone's happening.
No, I remember like somebody got killed and she found the body and she went on stage. She's like, oh my God, she's dead, someone help. And
yeah, well, that
people are
in
like,
Scary Movie,
oh, she's such a good actor.
Yeah, that did happen in Scary Movie, but yes, that probably happened in one of those movies, yeah.
So my impression. I was just thought.
I thought you already said your impression.
I just thought it was one of. I would think it would be one of those over top, and like I think these series, Friday the 13th, and like was it Michael Myers? Are they known for just horny kids?
Michael Myers is not.
Oh no! Well, the movies from Michael Myers.
No, he is no.
No, the characters aren't known for horny kids?
No, like the first Halloween has Laurie Strode because her brother was put into an insane asylum and like she's a babysitter but nothing's happening. It's just he comes back like, you guys abandoned me, I'm gonna wear a jumpsuit and whatnot and I'm gonna walk around bushes. Yeah, but no, like I think Nightmare on Elm Street might have horny kids in it, but like
so clearly I haven't seen these enough for a very long time when I last saw them.
But no, there is a trope of these movies being like, oh, teens, sex before marriage is bad, and these kids are dying because look at them having sex before marriage. So that is a thing, because the killers could be not manifestations. They could be depictions of STDs. It could be depictions of like drugs and alcohol use. But yeah, the killers in these movies typically attack younger people who are doing things that society or culture deems, oh, you shouldn't be doing that at this age or around these kind of people or whatever. Now, let's talk about some of the goings-on at the time of the movie. Thank you to OnThisDay.com for the headlines. And on December 1980, on the 4th, 2 months after the death of the drummer John Bonham, Led Zeppelin announces they will disband, which had to be disheartening for a lot of metal fans, a lot of rock fans back in the day.
So I just want to say, I'm pretty sure that I'm not. Well, I don't even know if we have listeners who listen to them, but something like I said, this is probably a wide known like fact, but something that kind of like pulled at my heartstrings was the fact that like obviously they disbanded because they lost their drummer, which is John Bonham. But the surviving members, the reason why they decided to disband, obviously because of that, but they believed that his talent was so unique and, you know, they cared for him so much that they found him irreplaceable. And if they were because he passed away, they found it that if they continue, it would be undivided harmony.
I cannot lie. Now I want to look up and see if Led Zeppelin ever got back together with a different drummer, just to see how long that statement was held true by the band itself.
Oh no! Don't break my heart.
Oh, I'm not gonna look it up, but now I want to be like, because that's a very nice, heartfelt reason to be like, oh, you know what? We were a team. We were a group. We worked together perfectly. And like, there's no one else that we can think of or see or know that could fit into the puzzle piece of Led Zeppelin as well as John. And then I'm like, because what is it, a year? Is it 2 years? Is it 5 years? But like, is there a time like where they're like, you know what? Yeah, let's try to do this without Mr. Bonham because he's not around. But yeah, I do hope in the 80s they're like, you know what? We're gonna disband. Maybe we might meet up and talk personally for ourselves, but like touring and stuff. Not for us because we lost our friend.
All right. So according to Google, see, all the information I get is from Google, guys, which is not always. I know it's not always accurate, but it gives me some type of information.
What's the Google guy's name? Go ahead. What you're saying.
So the members actually, they when they disbanded, that was actually what they did. So apparently, according to here, they did music alone by themselves. They never replayed music or got a new band member to create more music under the band name Led Zeppelin. It says here though they reunited for few special occasions. It was like one-off performances over the following decades, but those were extremely rare when they did.
On December 8th, Annie Leibovitz has a photo shoot with John Lennon, the last person to professionally photograph him before he was murdered on the same day.
So, I didn't really I actually looked into it, but it wasn't really something that was like, yes, this made me feel away. I had asked Samuel previously when he showed me these things, I was like, so the guy that had murdered him, like Chapman, something like that, he did it obviously out of envy and stuff and jealousy, but the more that Samuel, because I had asked Samuel like, oh hey, was this guy like was it flashy? And he was like, what did you say?
Oh, I said from my memory of John Lennon, he wasn't flashy. He was very brash and outward about what he thought and how he felt.
And then I was like, oh, my mom liked the song from him, like Imagine. And I don't know if she still likes it now. I'll have to ask her. But that song is I was like, yes, because like one of the things that like the guy who killed him said that he didn't like was because he had said, I guess on live or something, or somewhere he had publicly said that the Beatles are more famous than Jesus, and that was one of the triggers that made him want to kill him, along with the fact that he said that we should lose all possessions, but he still has $1 million or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a mixture of jealousy, anger, and then for blasphemy.
Then on December 12th, Apple makes its initial public offering on the U.S. stock market. 38 years later, it becomes the first U.S. company valued at over $100 trillion. First over $2 trillion 2 years after that, and the first over $3 trillion 3 years after that.
Wow, look at them now.
Yeah, man, they started in a garage, just like Microsoft and whatever, and then they were the first U.S. company be valued at over $1 trillion.
They kind of remind me of the Wi-Fi, the creator of the Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
How like he had promoted his idea like about how we could do this, because I think we were landmines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Internet was on landmines, like landlines, not landmines. Let's go kaboom. But yeah, and I think like his idea was like he was taken as he was crazy, and then look at him now.
Yeah,
like
man.
I'm pretty sure
now he's causing COVID with 5G.
Man, I bet the people that were like proposed that idea once it started like booming, I bet they were like fudge.
Well, it's the same thing as people like the reason why we have phones that do FaceTime or whatever is because everyone that started this stuff were real nerds, and like Star Trek did it. Like automatic doors was the first thing on Star Trek. Like FaceTime calls or whatever, it was like Star Trek. So like a bunch
Skype was the original, or was it like chat, like Google Chat, or no, Google Chat didn't come to later.
Do you mean like Zoom or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't keep track of this. I don't use any of these.
I think, well, I could be wrong, but like I feel like the first thing I found out was Skype.
Mm-hmm.
And then, even then, like, I still had a hard time maneuvering it. But, like, that's how I would talk to, like, certain friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then...
But you think some sci-fi nerds for making it with technology.
But then I remember hearing Zoom, but I don't remember if Zoom was the first one and then Skype, or Skype was the one that, like, inspired Zoom. But Zoom... Ooh, excuse me. But Zoom was just for business, right? Like, work calls and stuff?
I've never used them, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh. Thought you were... a little more factual than I am, but...
Well, I am, but I don't care about Skype and Zoom.
Alright, fair enough.
All I know about Skype and Zoom is Skype was so popular at one point that people would call FaceTiming and video chats Skyping. And then Zoom came back around. I never
called it that. I was like, you want to Skype? Or they'll be like, hey, can we Skype later? I never heard any of my friends go, Skyping, let's do that.
Yeah, but
sounds like skydiving.
Like, people were talking about Skyping, and then, like, when COVID hit, everyone started using Zoom. Because I think Skype and Zoom both have room limits that are kind of... once again, I don't use them. But for me, it's just like, yeah, like Skype was like the forefront of it, and everyone was using it. Then Zoom came along, and like later on, people started using that. And I think Zoom was meant for business and whatever. Then Skype was like for recreational use. But yeah, like for me, all I know is video chatting has boomed in the last like 10 or so years, and I still don't use them because I'm like, if I want to see people face to face, I'll just go see them. I also remember like time during MySpace. Those were like chats were becoming a thing. I could be wrong because I don't know what was before MySpace. That's when I got into the chatting. Friendster? No, Friendster came out around the same time as MySpace. No, before we were internet chatting with MySpace and Facebook and other social media things. Facebook
wasn't.
Yeah, it was like, in the 2000s.
But Facebook was originally for students, right? College students?
Well, yeah, that's who made it, a college student. But no, the first thing was like AOL chat.
I never had an AOL.
When you had to use your dial-up modem to get internet. So if you were if you were online chatting with your friends, your family couldn't get on the phone. But yes, that in the 90s, like mid to late 90s, I think that's what chatting was.
I could be wrong, but I do remember when I was on the computer when I was younger, my mom told me to get off of it. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember if she told me to get off of it because like I've been on it too long, or because she had to make a phone call. That I don't remember.
I don't think I had a personal computer in my home. I never had a personal computer in my home.
I remember when I saw the first laptop, they were bulky as heck. Man, these bring back memories. Okay, sorry. Back to topic.
Mm-hmm. December 19th, Raging Bull, directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Robert De Niro as a boxer, Jake LaMotta and Kathy Moriarty as his wife, is released in the United States.
I say this every time there's posts you tell me on these days and there are movies, I'm like, that means nothing to me, but good for them.
Oh, don't worry. We're not going to cover it either because we're covering 2 movies per year pretty much. But yeah, it's a good boxing movie, but I haven't seen a Martin Scorsese film in years.
Is it something related to like Rocky? I never watched those movies either, so that's why I'm asking.
I haven't seen past the first Rocky.
I haven't seen past the first one. I mean, I haven't seen to the first one. Is there a 0? Because that's what I watched.
There is. It's called Balboa, where it goes.
Okay, I haven't.
I think that's Rocky 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you do Balboa. Then I think there's a Rocky 5, and then I think the next movies are the Creed movies. The first 2 are directed by Sylvester Stallone, and the third one is directed by Michael B. Jordan.
Like the cat.
Yes, like the cat. The Italian stallion loves being compared to a cartoon cat. Also on the 19th, the comedy film 9 to 5, starring Dolly Parton, Jane Fonda, and Lily Tomlin, is released. And I just love the reality that Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 song was so popular in America that she could get a movie greenlit simply because of the name and how popular she was and the song was.
I love Dolly Parton's accent. Like, ugh.
I love her charities.
I know one of her charities is like she donates books to children.
It's the Imagination charity.
Yeah, I really like that. I think when I was younger, I got some books from that donation.
I don't know when she started it, but probably yeah.
I think I could be wrong, but no, I love her Southern accent. Anytime I hear her talk, I'm like, oh man, she makes me feel like I'm her sweetheart.
On December 31st, after being struck by an orange thrown from the crowd, West Indian fast bowler Sylvester Clark knocks out a spectator with a brick during the fourth test against Pakistan in Multan. And I'm not a fan of cricket, so I don't know much about cricket, but I do love the idea of this man just trying to do his job. He gets hit with fruit, and he's just like, I don't know who'd do that, but it's in this general area, and just throws a brick into the crowd.
So this is through 1980 to 1981 is how long the season? I think it's a year season.
Yeah.
And it obviously that was, I guess, one of the few times, and apparently that one when he threw the brick back, that was like he was done. That's why he threw it back. But apparently he got hit not just with fruits, but with stones as well.
Yeah, man.
So I can feel why I can see why he threw a brick back if he got hit with oranges and then rocks, man. Like, yikes.
And now, time for a segment that tests the contestants' common sense in horror situations called What Would You Do? I'm going to ask the contestant a few questions and get their questions on the topics. Are you ready for your first question?
Yeah, sure.
It's the 1950s and you are a camp counselor. A young boy has drowned recently under your watch, but that won't stop your young hormones. As the rest of the group sings worship songs, do you A, sneak off to have a makeout session, B, sneak off to have a feeling up session, C, sneak off to have sex, D, sneak off to go to bed because you have to wrangle kids in the morning and one just drowned?
What about calling the police?
It's not one of the options.
Oh. What were the options again?
A, you sneak off to have a makeout session. B, you sneak off to have a feeling up session. C, you sneak off to have sex. Or D, you sneak off to go to bed because you have to wrangle kids in the morning and one just drowned.
I think I'd rather go to bed.
So D.
D.
You said D. I think I'm done for the day. You are a new camp counselor in the late 1970s trying to find a way to Camp Crystal Lake. In town, a weirdo tells you the place is cursed, and another man tells you that you shouldn't be there because of all the deaths. Do you A, ignore their warnings and keep going to the place of the serial killing? B, look at them funny and laugh about them being too wound up? C, take in none of the information and try to find another person that will take you to the camp? Or D, listen to the long list of deaths and think, maybe my first camp job should be at a place with less mortality and find another camp in the tri-state area?
B. Why would I stick around, bro?
Well, what? You gotta get to camp. You gotta help the kids.
Not when they're dying already.
You arrive at Camp Crystal Lake. I said cramp. You arrive at Camp Crystal Lake.
Oh,
and
yeah.
your first sight is the one adult leading the camp in nothing but cut-off shorts. After a day of free physical labor, you overhear him flirting with a teen girl. Do you A, stay at this camp, trusting that if he gets rejected by this girl, he won't try with you? B, stay at this camp, trusting that you'll get paid well for not only watching the campers, but for your physical labor? C, stay at this camp that has no fences, cameras, or strong locks to protect you from any kind of creep? Or D, leave this camp because summer break isn't for free manual labor, being hit on by strange men, or dealing with hazards in the woods with no medical staff?
Leave. Just leave.
And I remember someone talking to me one time, well, if you did that stuff, the movie wouldn't happen. I'm like, no, the movie would still happen, because if I leave and there's a group of people, guess what happens? The group of people will deal with it, but I'll be somewhere else not dealing with it. So you're not wrong. If I'm the main character, the movie wouldn't happen, but guess what? Other people will be main characters because I'm not part of the story anymore. 4. Oh no, a violent rainstorm hit the camp. There has been strange goings-on at the camp, but pish-posh, you'll ignore those things. Then you see a figure in a black rain slicker in her cabin, even though you know where all the other counselors are. Do you A, follow this stranger into the cabin? B, go after this stranger without telling anyone where you're going or what's going on? C, use your legs, feet, and brain to chase after a mysterious figure in the murder camp? Or D, tell all the counselors that you saw a stranger go into one of the cabins, They didn't look like the weirdo in the only cut-off shorts. So let's all go to the cabin and investigate.
Just go tell the other people, man. Like, why?
Well, don't worry. It's just one person in a camp. Why would it be someone that's dangerous?
Because you need people to run away.
You need people to get away from.
I'm sorry, just got a cookie.
If there's a bear, you just gotta outrun the people before the bear gets to you. You are a mother in the 1950s. Your son is a special boy but doesn't know how to swim. So you send him to a camp named Crystal Lake for seeing no problems. Do you A, blame the teenage counselors for a mistake if one happens? B, blame the adults for not having stricter rules for the counselors to follow? C, blame your son for sneaking off to go into the lake knowing he can't swim? Or D, train your son to swim, tell other counselors about his inability to swim, or, like June says, give him a bracelet that's identifiable so we all know to keep an extra eye on him?
I don't like any of these answers.
I don't like training my kid to swim so he doesn't drown.
I mean, there's a reason why to that. The other thing is, why would I blame my kid for going in the water?
You don't no. That's once again. That's not like that's one of the options, but you don't have to choose that option.
Okay, I guess I'll go with the bracelet.
Yeah, but yeah, because on How Does It Get Made, they were watching like Jason 6 or Jason 8, whatever, where Jason comes back to life by being struck by lightning and coming back to life, and June is like, wait. Why did his mother send him to a summer camp with a lake if he can't swim? And why didn't he have like some kind of bracelet or something that identifies him as somebody who can't swim that the counselor should keep an eye on? And I'm like, yeah, that's not. And also, like, because Jason Mantzoukas was on there, and he was like, yeah, I didn't know how to swim at summer camp, but like I had like a thing on. It told them my allergies, and it told them like I couldn't swim. And I'm like, yeah. And then if we're just being real, they could train him how to swim. Like,
or they can keep an eye on the children.
Yeah, but they teach him how to swim in, like, at summer camp. But I'm just like, but yeah, like, hey, instead of trying to get, like, mad that your kid got hurt, don't take him to a camp with a lake in it. And then, like...
Maybe show how to work.
Yeah, true. I'm not mad about that part. The part I'm frustrated about is, like, train him how to swim, let him know. Because, like, if she works there, be like, hey, guys that work here, my son doesn't know how to swim, so like don't let him near the lake, please. All that stuff. But no, murders. Just murders happen, I guess. Thank you for playing, and now on to the synopsis. This week we're doing Friday the 13th, 1980. We watched this on YouTube, but I believe this is on many streaming services. And if you're a person that likes physical media, I believe that like you could look this up many places and find the DVD for like $5 or less. So it's very easy to get access to this movie.
Today's synopsis is actually from Wikipedia. So this is where we're reading to tell you about it, guys.
I know you laughed at telling the truth. We're lying at some Wikipedia. In 1958 at Camp Crystal Lake, camp counselors Barry and Claudette sneak away from other counselors for a late-night rendezvous in a supply shed. An unseen assailant attacks and murders them. Now, once again, the most romantic place at a summer camp is a supply shed, but not the crystalline lake. That'd be terrible with a full moon and like a lake, whatever.
I feel like this is gonna sound dumb, but when she was getting ready, like she put like the most thinnest blanket on the floor.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, I don't know if this is your first time or anything, but if it is, I would have at least been like, hey, can we have some hay or something?
Hay could have bugs in it too. Once again, because I've said this during the movie, but I was like, one, it's like 10 or 11 at night, and we saw a shot of the kids sleeping. So they're just playing loud guitar when kids are asleep, so it's already a problem.
Where are the adults?
I don't know, man.
Did they ever show? Well, I guess like it was the guy.
During that scene, we did not see a single adult, which is a problem because medical staff, groundskeeping staff, anything like there's an old timey generator. I'm like, you gonna tell me you want kids to operate this?
Even the ones, the RL ones, the RL like the horror nightmare, the RL it's a horror like slasher on Netflix. I just realized even when they were showing the camp one, there wasn't really much adults. They were like late teenagers, like 17, 18. But there wasn't like adults. Or at least not that I remember. Okay, anyways, sorry. That's a theme apparently.
Yeah, it's typically. And then they were singing worship songs. Like, they were singing songs about Jesus' love and whatnot. They weren't singing that song. But they were, like, doing that late at night. I'm like, what if the kids wake up and hear you? But then, like, yeah, like...
Oh, it's okay. Kids won't know what they're listening to.
It's kind of hard to misinterpret when someone's talking about Jesus' love. And we're just, like, singing about that. But then, like... What about a worship song turns on these two teens? Be like, time for kissing and making out a little bit.
The fact that we're supposed to be pure and hold off, or the fact that they can't tap the girl until they're just like, oh man.
I still don't understand, because whenever I hear worship songs, nothing is like, you know what gets me going. Time for some kisses. Like, no, I've never seen someone in a church be like, like they're praising God, and then it's like time for kissing. I'm like, no, get out of here. But that's what these kids do.
Maybe. Well, okay.
That's what they do.
I was gonna say maybe I don't know, man. I don't know. I've never been in that situation. I
don't think you've ever been at a summer camp saying Christian songs and then been like, time for some kissing. I don't think many people have been in that situation. But yes, and then this Unknown Assailant, I think this movie comes out after. I think it comes out 84. It reminds me of Sleepaway Camp. Because Sleepaway Camp is a movie that we are not probably going to cover. And a bunch of kids at a camp made a horror movie where it does the thing that this movie does, where the killer is always the camera. And people are like, oh, it's you. Oh, I knew it was you. And then
is that the one with the kid?
It's a summer camp for children. So, yes, that is the one with
the
kid.
The kid is the murderer?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what this is.
Spoilers for Sleepaway Camp.
Were they twins or something?
No. Sleepaway Camp, the murderer is a child. And
the one that she looked like a girl, but reality was a boy.
Yes, but the only reason
I've seen that.
The only reason they look like a girl is because I think a kid died and the husband died, and the mom wanted a daughter, but they got a boy after some parents died, and she dressed the boy up as a girl and said, "You are my daughter." I think Tanya or something now. So the boy was like lashing out because this person or this mother
making murders is a crazy way to lash out, man. What about breaking some twigs or like pushing vases over, maybe even breaking some windows? Oh, that's a slowly escalating.
Also, that's slowly escalating to murder. But yeah, and then in the second Sleepaway Camp, I think Bruce Springsteen's sister plays the main character. And so the first one I think is played by a boy who dresses up as a girl, and then you find out, oh, it's a boy.
I think I really misremember that movie a lot, because I remember it as like they were twins, but the boy died, or the girl died, and so the mom was like, "Oh, you're gonna be my little girl now."
Oh, once again,
I could be wrong. Like I watched this when I was like in 8th or 9th grade.
Nope, this is a rated R horror film. You should not have watched that.
I mean, yeah, but was it AMC was the channel in that when I was younger?
It's still the channel now. It just doesn't have Breaking Bad and Walking Dead anymore.
No, I always liked it during Oktoberfest, because that's when they showed all the classic. That's how I found out Burnt Ashes. Sorry.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, I'll have to show you that movie. I also wanted to add that when she kills them, when they're murdered, the way how the camera, I know it's like, Samuel explained to me, well, she just saw something really traumatic. That's yeah, but I don't.
I don't give that young teen girl who's never seen wanton violence and is next to a dead body. I don't give her any leeway on how she reacts.
I don't know. I feel like if people and were in that situation, I feel like I understand it's a fight or flight response, but hers wasn't even
It was a bad response.
It wasn't even a flight. It wasn't a fight nor flight.
There was no fight nor flight.
Yeah, it was none of that. Her response was to just run from corner to corner, moving backwards towards boxes.
So that's flight. She's moving away from the danger. Yeah, that's flight.
At least move forward.
Towards the danger?
Push him. Like, dang, push him. It doesn't matter if you don't kill them or like injure them. Push him.
Also, they were walking upstairs to get to them, so if she pushed her, she would have pushed the killer down the stairs.
She just murdered your partner.
Waited.
She just...
Oh, they're gonna get him, boss. Gonna wait him.
She just... she murdered her partner. Like, why would that matter? Okay, anyways, I'm just saying, if you're in danger, you have every right to protect yourself. Like, I feel like
according to the law,
at that point, it's kill or be killed. Choose which one you want. On Friday, June 13th, 1979, camp counselor and cook Annie hitches with truck driver Enos towards a reopened Camp Crystal Lake. Enos warns her about the camp's troubled past, beginning when the young boy drowned in Crystal Lake in 1957. After Enos drops Annie off at the crossroad, she hitches another ride from an unseen person driving a Jeep. After the driver passes the camp entrance, Annie becomes fearful and leaps from the vehicle, fleeing into the woods where the driver eventually slashes her throat.
Also, Annie jumps out of a car sideways but does a forward roll, and I'm just like, that's immaculate how you turned in midair. You're like Rob Van Dam out here, jumping from the furthest corner and then turning his body to hit the frog splash. But yeah, like, also it's Enos. I just didn't correct it when you were reading it. Two, Enos and Ralph, because like they don't say anything about Ralph. Enos and Ralph, because Ralph is like, it's a death place, death, and I'm like, it's kind of high strung.
All I'm saying, man, is when this scene, when well, first of all, what'd you say, Enos?
No, I said Enos.
Enos, like when he agrees to take Annie to like halfway to the crossroads, he literally is walking out with her. Mind you, she's a teenager, or like at least a late teenager, 17, 18. He literally looks at her and he goes like, oh, are all the camp counselors gonna look as pretty as you?
Like a creep.
And I'm just
like a town of creeps.
I was like, wow, nice. The other thing too is that Annie just doesn't believe, and it doesn't take, well, I'm not sure if she believes, I think she doesn't based off on how she's talking to him, but like, Enos does tell her like, hey, these years, these things happen. Like, she told him about like the drowning, told her about like a murder, and then something else, like, what was the last thing that happened? Like,
it was a murder. Oh, no, a fire.
A fire,
the
yeah.
last thing he said was the fire trying to burn down the camp.
Yeah, so, like, he's literally, like, telling her, hey, these are facts because we live in this town. We know what we're talking about. But she was just like, nah, it's okay. It'll be fine. And then she died. Also, I don't like the fact that when I watched this movie and I had asked Samuel, hey, does Annie make it to the camp? And he goes like, yeah. And I'm just like, okay. And then she gets murdered. And I'm like, oh, so she made it barely to the camp. So he's not wrong. Mm-hmm. She did make it to camp entrance. Yeah. Kind of. Mm-hmm. And then died. Well, I guess she would be on camp if she went through the forest.
Yeah, she's in the woods. She's on campgrounds. Yeah. She dies. Before she meets the new kids.
So that upset me, because he does this thing where he tells me something and then they die.
Well, no, I do this crazy thing to where if Miri watches a movie and I'm a part of the movie watching experience, I don't give her the information and I let the movie tell the information. Because, like, there are bad movies that would not give information, which is very true. But, like, if we're watching the movie and I know the movie, because there have been times where the movie doesn't give information. I'm like, oh, this happened. But, like, if the movie's going to give the information, you'll know without me having to tell you. The
other thing, too, that I pointed out to Samuel, which is, like, it's a trope that happens a lot in these type of year movies. I think Annie is the only one so far I've seen in these kind of movies where it kind of makes sense to why she's falling over a lot. And yeah, she bonked her head and it looked like she hurt her foot, too. Mm-hmm. So she kept constantly falling, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, she's injured. But then, like, I don't know why they do this. She put herself against a tree.
Well, maybe she has tree powers, so the tree will protect her from the person trying to hurt her. We're probably not going to watch another Friday the 13th movie and I'm ecstatic about it. But there is a Friday the 13th, because I thought about it when I watched it, where a lady has psychic powers. And I think her dad died in a lake, and Jason's like, I'm going to get you. And, like, she uses her psychic powers to make her dad come out of the lake and grab Jason and pull him back under the water.
Oh my God.
These movies are terrible.
I think the last one I heard, and I watched some of it, was like Jason in Space.
Jason X. That's the 10th one.
Oh my goodness.
The last one I saw was Freddy vs. Jason, which is a bad movie.
Who won in that one?
I don't know, man. I know the kids, sorry, they are like 20s people, but they pretend to be teenagers. I know the teens in that movie get Freddy out of their dreamscape and, like, around Jason, so there's a fight. But, like, Freddy quips a lot and Jason doesn't. So I'm like, so you can't...
Freddy quips a lot?
Yeah.
What is quips?
Oh, he makes, like, jokes at people before he does murders.
Oh, yeah, those dad jokes.
Yeah, but like, Jason doesn't. So, like, when they interact, it's just Freddy being like, I'm going to talk a lot. And Jason's like, I don't care.
Which, also, might I add, the camera cuts from, like, obviously, like, camp, like, introducing, like, the other counselors and the adult. And the other thing, too, is that what they didn't add is before Annie got killed, it introduced the adultier adult. What was his name? Steve. Introduces Steve and introduces to Stacy? No.
Who's Stacy?
Alice.
There we go.
Alice. And Alice looks like she doesn't really like, she looks like she doesn't want to really be there, but there's a scene in particular where, like, he's helping her, like, put up, like, the gutter onto, like, the cabin, and then he makes, like, she likes to draw, apparently, and she has, like,
and we never see her art. We just see the man open the book and say, this is
That's
good.
not true. We see him open the book, and it's a picture of himself.
Oh, we see the picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming you were taking notes.
Yeah, but, yeah, for me, I thought because this movie is semi-cheap to make for this studio, so what I pictured is they picked up the book, and, like, it's not, because he's facing camera, so the book's away from camera.
Yeah.
So then we just see him read it, and it's like, this is pretty good.
And he says, is that really how I look? And she was like, that's how you look last night. So I'm just like, at that point I was like, did she just be like, were they having dinner or something, or is that implying something else? Anyways, my point is,
it's implying that Steve, an adult, probably had relations with a teenager.
What I'm saying is that Steve then she looked like I think she implied that she might leave or something, and he was like, just give me a week, and, like, I'll fix this place up, and if that doesn't work, then you can go back home. Was it California?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's at California. I don't know. And so
I was stuck on the part where an adult man was having a relationship with an underage girl.
Okay. I asked if that was an implication, and he told me I don't know. So now he's saying, oh, they might have had relationships.
No, I'm not saying a relationship. I'm saying relations.
Relations.
And two, yeah, I feel like I said this during the movie, but no, this man touches her face like a weirdo, and then he meets these kids in cut-off jean shorts, and I said this to someone.
Oh, without a shirt, mind you.
Well, no, I didn't say with a shirt and jean shorts. Just with cut-off jean shorts and a bandana.
Showing those fake pecs.
And it irritates my soul, because I'm like, if I were a teen and I entered a living space, like, I have to be here for a summer, and the first adult I see is a half-naked man who tries to put me to work, no, I'm not going to stay here.
Why is there only one adult?
I think it's because they own the property.
Just one adult? Okay, but you're opening this place up. Why do you just have 5 kids?
6 kids.
Why do you just have 6 kids? You need adults. You're just gonna, and then he leaves them there. And why did he go to town? Did it ever say why he went to town?
Yeah, he had to get some more supplies for fixing stuff up.
Which he did not.
That's not true. He had some more supplies. He had some dinner at the diner. He's been out all day. He's been doing physical labor.
All right, just move on to the next paragraph.
Counselors Ned, Jack, Bill, Marcy, Brenda, and Alice arrive at camp. Alice, along with owner Steve Christie, refurbish the cabins and prepare for incoming campers. That's when Steve does the, oh, you got a book of drawings. I'm gonna touch you a little bit. I'm gonna touch your face. And it's like, don't touch the underage girl's face, Steve. That's not cool. As a thunderstorm approaches, Steve leaves for supplies. But yeah, see, they need supplies.
Which he still did not come back with.
Ned sees a cloaked figure walk into a cabinet and follows. Now, after this happens, Ned sees young Kevin Bacon and a girl he likes kissing by the dock. And then you have this shot in the movie a lot where there's a person watching the kids. And for this one scene, the camera moves to Ned. So your brain is like, oh, Ned's watching them. But then, like, the shot keeps changing, and then you see the person enter the cabin.
Before this as well, before, like, Ned sees, Macy and whoever making out, so a cop comes up to the camp a little bit after Steve leaves to go get supplies, supposedly. A cop comes up and the cop is like, what are you guys doing up here? You guys doing, like, basically, I'm like, are you drinking, smoking, wacky tobacco? And they're just like, no, we're just here helping. Camp's gonna open again. We're just, here. The cop then tells him that they're looking, like, because one of the counselors asks him, like, oh, there's something going on, like, what can we help you with? And that's when he tells him, like, oh, Ralph is missing and we're just looking for him, and sometimes he comes up here and stuff, and and they're just like, is Ralph dangerous? They're like, no, he just talks crazy.
Also, this is gonna be wild to have the permits you need to have a camp opened, have children be at the camp for it to be certified for safety reasons.
This was none of that.
Oh, even in the 79 and 80s, you had those. So the permits would have to go through the police. Like, police would have to know, because like if the police believe the camp was closed and then they got a phone call from the camp saying something's going on, if they don't know it's open, they would just think it's a prank, so they wouldn't go. But for this to happen, you would have to communicate with all of these, like, municipal structures to know that it's open.
From my understanding, Steve was a town folk.
Well, yeah,
but
he lived in town, yeah.
Yeah, so like he was a town folk, because like when it'll in the all I was gonna say in the further like paragraphs or the further synopsis you'll see, because like yeah. Anyways, but yeah, that happened. Alice is the one that finds Ralph. Was he in the pantry or something? Is that what it was?
Yes.
He was in the pantry. The one thing I can say...
How did he get in the pantry?
I don't know. The one thing that I can say about this movie that I feel like is good about it is the fact that anytime anyone yelled and the other members were like near them, they came in running. And this happened twice, where Alice found a snake underneath, like, in her room, and she yelled, and then one male, which I don't know who it was, but came in and killed the snake along, and then everybody else came in. They're all freaking out about how to try to kill a snake and hitting it with pillows. The second time it happened was when Alice found Ralph, because Ralph, startled her, and Ralph tells them, you're all gonna die. You shouldn't be here.
Also, unlike Steve, Ralph didn't touch any of the kids like
That's
a weirdo.
True. That is very true. He just like, ooh.
Like, Ralph is a weirdo because he's he's a weirdo for hiding in a pantry and riding a bike up to Camp Crystal Lake to, like, be around teens. But Ralph doesn't, like, the weirdest thing Ralph does is, I'm going to hide in a pantry, I'm going to come out and say, there's a death curse on this place, you're going to die, you should leave. And I'm like, hey, like, I don't like your energy or how you're acting, but at least you're not being like a sexual creep. You're being a creep. But you're not being a sexual creep, so I'm fine with that energy.
All I am saying is that if I were in a camp, and before I got to camp, and they were like, this place is cursed, and this people that live in town, mind you, tell me this place is cursed, these things have happened, there was a drown, there was a murder, and then there was a fire.
There was a drown. Maybe the drown attacked the fire, so they didn't have to worry about it.
I would question, do I really want to go up there?
See, for me, if I ignored the old people, and then one of the old people got into the camp where I didn't see them, and then could surprise me, I'd be like, you know what? Don't feel safe in this camp.
Thank you.
I just want to leave.
Thank you. The same thing. If I would have been Alice, if I would have been like the other girl that saw them, I think it was Marcy or something. If I would have been there, at that point, I'll be like, all right, guys, you know, I think like we.
Yeah, I don't feel safe because we definitely had this creep come from out of town, come from in town, come to the camp. We all not see them, and then they like jumped out at me in the closet.
Like
I'm gonna go now.
I understand that like the cop described him as like town loony, but still he's loony for a reason. I feel if he's talking and okay, mind you, like let's say that Annie never made it to the Annie didn't make it to the camp. If Annie
let's say Annie never made it.
Yeah, well
like
If Annie would have made it to the town, and she told us, like let's say we were in the movie and she told us about what they told her, and then Ralph just so happened to appear, I would be like, you know what, I'm gonna call Steve and tell him not for me.
Yeah, man, like I said, they're in New Jersey. Like you got Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey. Go to another camp in the tri-state area with no mortality. As a thunderstorm approaches, Steve leaves for supplies. Ned sees a cloaked figure walk into a cabin and follows. Later, while Jack and Marcy have sex, which is a jump, but that's how it works, they are unaware of Ned's dead body above them in the bunk bed, which this doesn't make any sense because they walk into the cabin. It is dark, but Ned's wearing a bright green shirt, and it's on the bunk right above them.
Navy blue.
It looks like dark green. It looks like green when it's outside.
It was navy blue upstairs. Alright guys, upon further investigation and Googling it, it was a green shirt, so I apologize. I'm just colorblind apparently.
No, because you're not wrong. Because like you said, you showed me the shot from the movie where I'm like, yeah, I can see how you see that as blue. But yeah, for me, I'm like, yeah, it's a green shirt because we see him out in the light on the lake being all sad looking at Kevin Bacon kissing a lady. And then I'm like, and for me, I know it's dark, but I'm like, I would see a green shirt in a cabin, like you said, especially with lightning or whatever. So I'm just like, how are these? And once again, it's all like bunk beds are taller on purpose, but like if they turned around and saw, because they laid down in the bottom bunk, they would see the green shirt.
I don't know, because I feel like when you got into that scene where they're about to get funky, you don't see it's a bunk bed.
You do, because it goes
up. You do? Because I didn't even notice that. But because the only thing that, as Samuel said, if they are, because they're tall.
Yes.
They're tall. I don't understand how they also didn't see the body.
Yeah.
And it's not like they implied that the body was covered up or anything. And then the only way how Bacon finds out who like something is up there is because all of a sudden he feels blood on himself, like pour on him.
I can't lie to you. I really want you to meet Kevin Bacon and just call him by his last name. Not even Mr. Bacon. Just call him Bacon.
I didn't think about his first name.
That's fine.
Bacon.
I can't. Oh, I'm so bad. I want you to meet Kevin Bacon now.
No.
So you just look at him like, yo, what's up, Bacon?
He'll be like, who the fudge are you? And I would be like, sorry.
Well, he's been in the limelight. He's been a celebrity since like the 80s.
Well,
like,
no.
Used to interactions with people.
I'm pretty sure if like I meet him in person, I would say Mr. Bacon.
Hey, Mr. Piggy.
I wouldn't go that far. No.
Ned body. When Marcy leaves the cabin for the public bathroom, the killer pierces Jack's throat with an arrow before following Marcy into the bathroom and killing her with an axe. After playing strip Monopoly with Alice and Bill, Bender returns to her cabin. She is lured outside by a little boy's voice calling for help and ventures toward the camp's archery range where floodlights suddenly turn on. Now, these parts frustrate me for very specific reasons. The part with Ned's dead body is because it's the green shirt on a bunk bed, and even with his darkness, you would see the green shirt and the white letters, or the white numbers, and they don't.
As I said, Mr. Bacon then gets killed because he feels blood fall on him, and then, you know, the killer goes, wah, with an arrow through him.
The killer holds his head and then stabs an arrow through his throat.
Wait, she holds his head?
Yep. Hands on the head and then stabs the arrow through it so he doesn't squirm away and she stabbed the arrow.
I didn't even realize that. I just saw the arrow. And the thing is, she did this thing where, like, the arrow goes through and then she, like, turned it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, aren't you supposed to turn it while it's still in the body?
Once again, I don't think about the machinations of murderers. But the other part is, Marcy leaves the cabin during a rainstorm in, like, a rain slicker.
In underwear. And a bra.
See,
no.
The problem, that sucks to me. The things that suck to me about that scene is, one, she's not wearing any shoes.
Oh, that's true. She's barefoot.
She's going to an outdoors bathroom.
Which she saw herself was a snake in one cabin.
And, like, then it's an outdoor bathroom that hasn't been opened since 1959, when the murders happened with the two other camp counselors. So 59 to 79. So for 20 years, this bathroom has been not cleaned, not washed, not looked over. And this lady's like, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go barefoot into a bathroom. My man, I don't like going to a bathroom urinal with flip-flops on. So I can't believe this young lady is like, what I really want to do is walk through the dirty ground that's raining, and then I want to walk into a bathroom floor with bare feet. That sounds terribly unhealthy and bad. And then Marcy goes into the bathroom. She hears some noises, and instead of leaving and being like, I'm not dealing with these noises, she does that thing every dummy does, and she investigates. Don't investigate. Leave. There's danger.
They have no sense of awareness.
They have no survival instinct.
There you go. Not awareness. Oh, that too.
And then, like, not to be funny, I really like the game Monopoly, but when Brenda is like, oh, we should play Strip Monopoly, I'm like, get out of my face. Monopoly is fun without adding this extra caveat to it.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a fan of Monopoly. If you put strip in it, just not for me.
But like for me, it's just like, no, I don't need to add that to Monopoly. That's not fun. But the other part is, are you telling me that at the first, because like once again, they haven't seen their friends. They saw their friends go down to the lake, and they were having fun. Then they all separated off. And these three haven't seen any of their friends come back. They haven't knocked on the door. They haven't said, oh, what's going on? None of that's happened. So they are just like living their lives, not thinking about the other people around them, because there's like, 3 people around them and Steve, so 4. And they're just like, whatever, let's just do this. I'm like, and then there's a dumb line that Alice says that says, well, what if Steve comes back? And then Brenda's like, well, we'll give him a handicap because all he's wearing is cut-off shorts anyway and a bandana. And they like laugh, and I'm like, so once again, these teens are like, we're gonna play Strip Monopoly, and we're going to invite the older gentlemen to play Strip Monopoly with us. Like, do they not believe Steve would say no? I don't want to join in, and that makes it worse because that makes Steve a bigger creep as I think he is. And
so you go ahead.
Okay, because then Brenda does the thing where Brenda's like, oh, we gotta end the Monopoly. Because of power outage and storm.
No, she
left the windows open
in the cabin
for the storm. So then Brenda's like, she puts on her grandma nightie, and she like turns off her lights, and then she hears a kid yell, "Help me!" twice. And spoiler, if you haven't seen this movie already, I'm gonna spoil it, and then we're gonna go past it. Jason Voorhees' mother, Pamela Voorhees, is the killer in the first one. Jason does not exist as the killer yet. He exists as the killer in the second movie. And
wait, what?
Yeah, he's the killer in the second movie.
He no dead?
No, he's in the second movie as the killer. From 2 to 10 is Jason.
He drowned.
Oh, that's not true. In one of the Jason movies from 2 to 10, there is a Jason imposter. But one of them, from 2 to 10, Jason's the killer.
But he did.
Okay. As Alice said, he's in the lake. But Brenda hears a kid saying help.
Wait.
Okay.
So you're telling me he's still in the lake, right? Because she says he's still in there.
So we're meant to assume.
And then in that scene, okay, you know what? I'll say I'll just step out.
So Brenda goes outside, and Brenda in her nightgown, barefoot, in a rainstorm, hears a kid needs help, and goes out to help that child. Now, once again, stupid. It's not safe. And you don't know the camp. So going out in a night storm where you don't know where, or a thunderstorm where you don't know anything is because you hear a kid. But and I said this watching the movie, Pamela Voorhees is upset because her son drowned at the camp because the counselors were having relations instead of watching the children. That I will give her.
Reasonable.
I'm like, you have a right to be upset. You have a right to murder new teenagers. But no, that makes me worried. She doesn't have a right to murder these new teens.
Oh, no, that's true.
Because the old teens that she already murdered let her down and hurt her kid.
That's true.
Like, she does not have the right to do that. But then, the way she kills Brenda is, hey, there's a thunderstorm in an unfamiliar place, and you don't have the right clothes and you don't have the equipment. and Brenda hears that a kid's in danger, and Brenda gets up, like, she hears it twice, and Brenda gets up, is like, I'm going to go save this child. And I'm like, so you're mad that people let your kid down and they died, and because they weren't being attentive enough and they weren't caring enough. So now the way you kill one of them is by luring them out in the open because they hear a child asking for help, and they are willing to put themselves in danger to make sure a child's okay. I'm not like once again, we're supposed to believe the killer's a crazy person, but I'm just like, wouldn't this killer be like, oh, hey, look, if she were here and Jason was looking for help, she would have came to help. Because once again, it's proven by the killer. Because the killer's like, I'm going to lure her out with the kid yelling help. And then she came to help immediately. I'm like, so isn't that what you want? Shouldn't you get more counselors at this camp that are like this? That if they hear there's trouble, even if they put themselves in danger, they're willing to help and save?
Maybe she saw the fact that they played
Strip Monopoly. No, you're disqualified now.
Strip Monopoly, and like the fact that, I don't know, man.
But yeah, for me, that part frustrated me because I was just like, wait a minute. So you saw that this person
she was the one that got kissed by Ned. In the water, in the drowning.
Oh, you mean when Ned pretended to drown?
Yeah.
And Brenda's like, I'm going to jump in and save you, and then Ned was like, I'm not really drowning. I just want to kiss.
Yeah.
So once again, that's not on her. That's on Ned. Once again,
I don't care. She saw what she saw.
True, she saw it, but too, that's still on. Like once again, Brenda has shown you, I am willing to take the steps to make sure any child's okay, even if I am not. And I'm like, you should want this lady around. Why is she dead? But also,
maybe she killed her because she was upset that she was there.
But also, we don't see Brenda's death. We see lights come on. Brenda's like, that's not funny, guys. And then you hear a scream.
Which, by the way, there was a foreshadowing to that. Because in the beginning of the movie, too, when they're, she's trying to get targets up and, like, trying to get them ready for archery.
Yeah, Ned's a jerk.
And, like, shoots an arrow and it, like, passes by her very, like, barely, by her. And she's like, oh my gosh, stop, how dangerous that could have been. And so, like, that was her foreshadowing because, like, she got killed by, like, homegirl, what was it, Voorhees? Mm-hmm. She, bullseyed her. Alice hears Brenda screaming. Worried by her friend's disappearances, Alice and Bill investigate. They find a bloodied axe in Brenda's bed.
Sorry, when I saw it in the scene.
It's like the axe got really tired and he was tucked to bed.
No, because the axe isn't covered by the blanket and then they pull it back and see it's an axe.
No, it's like
it's tucked in.
Yeah.
The axe is tucked into bed.
You see the head of the axe on the pillow.
And then like the blanket up to the part, right? Like the handles is the neck. So like the Pamela tucked the axe in, like, good job, axe.
Yeah. They find a bloodied axe in Brenda's bed and the phone's disconnected. Steve returns and at the camp entrance recognizes the unseen killer who stabs him. When the power goes out, Bill goes to check the generator. Alice later finds his body pinned to the door with arrows. She flees to the main cabin and barricades herself inside before the killer hurls Brenda's body through the window.
No. Once again, some of these synopses that I find do take the movie at a clip, but it skips over so many things, and like it makes me laugh because, like, okay, Alice hears Brenda screaming. Bill is like, oh, I didn't hear the scream over the storm. They are both worried about the investigation, and they did the smart thing you're supposed to do in horror movies, and they stayed together as a group because you're supposed to. And then they find the axe tucked in.
By the way, I would have been concerned if I find a bloodied axe because there was blood on the pillow.
Yeah. And
they're just like, okay. And then
they do try to leave, but the car doesn't start because, like, it's not. He said it's wet, but I think something's flooded in the car. So they do try to leave, but they are like the phones are cut off, the vehicles are gone, and then Bill says something that's very true. It's the middle of the night, it's storming, and the closest not even town, the closest crossroads is 10 miles away. A 10-mile hike during the day when you know the terrain is already an ordeal. But, like, you don't have food, you don't have water, it's the middle of the night, it's been storming, and you don't know where you are, truly. You just know that there's a camp here. So, like, for this horror movie, the reason they didn't run away, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you guys can't call anyone because phones are disconnected. You guys can't drive away because the one vehicle you have has a problem that you can't fix, and the person that could fix it is probably dead now. And then 3, you could walk or run away, but like nothing says the killer's not going to be in the woods. But double time, you don't know how far you will make it before you twist an ankle, you fall down, you hurt. So I'm like, okay, so these teenagers, they're like, oh, okay, we have to be here, but what do we do? And then Bill does the dumbest thing, and he's like, hey, you go to sleep, Alice. I'm going to go check out the generator by myself. Like you said, after seeing a bloody axe. So someone's been hurt, and there's blood on this pillow. So someone's been hurt fatally with an axe. Yeah, and Bill's like, don't worry, I'll go by myself.
Yeah, that's the part I didn't understand either. I'm like, you guys clearly tried to escape. Try to call the phones. But the power generator goes off. Which, by the way, that, as Samuel stated, was like the type of darkness that is when you're in the woods is very different from the darkness you are at home.
Yeah, man. It's like, what did SpongeBob say? It's advanced darkness. But yeah, and then Steve comes back because he's at a diner, and an older lady who was a server at the diner hits on Steve, and I made a joke. I'm like, you're not a teenager. Steve doesn't want you, older lady. And then Steve gets stuck because he's towing something. A cop comes by and drives him up to the camp, or near the camp, because the cop has to turn back around, because there's I think the radio calls Jaws of Life, 3 people stuck or whatever.
Yeah.
And for me, I thought the ending of the movie would be Steve coming back to camp with a cop, and then maybe the last person ran to the front and they're fighting the killer, and then the cop, Steve comes back and the cop shoots the killer, and they're like, ah. But that's not what happened. So Steve comes back, and it has the camera footage of the killer's point of view. Steve's like, hey, and then Steve gets stabbed in his rain slicker, and he's like, ah, and then it's done. And Bill goes and checks the generator, and the generator working for he's like, it's got gasoline. Why is the power off? And I'm like, okay, so let's connect this together. So you haven't seen your friends.
Mind you, this whole time they think that their friends are pranking them.
Yeah, they think they're being pranked. But you haven't seen your friends. You saw the bloody axe. The power's gone out, and you haven't done it. Alice is like, oh, I heard her scream. Brenda, I haven't seen her. Blah blah blah. And then Bill's like, I'm gonna go by myself. Hey, the generator's working, but it's off. I'm like, that means someone turned it off, Bill. Hey, Bill, that means someone turned off the generator. And that's bad, because that means someone's trying to put you in darkness and keep you guys trapped. And then Alice, after Bill doesn't come back, because Alice is sleeping, because Bill's like, hey, stay here and sleep. So she wakes up real fast. She goes to the generator room, and she doesn't see Bill, but she sees the generator's working again. And she's like, okay, power, whatever, blah blah blah.
She closes the door and sees Bill latched on to the door.
Yeah, he's been shot up with arrows, and it boggles me because I'm like, wait a minute, the last time we saw this lady use arrows, she stabbed one through a mattress and a boy's throat. So I don't think this lady's I don't think she's good at archery.
She must have been good though, because when you see she throws Brenda's body, she has a hole in her on her forehead and her chest.
Well, she could have stabbed her with an arrow, because later on she tries to stab Alice with an arrow. She stabs people with arrows a lot. You never see her with a bow. You only see her with arrows.
Well, you would think that she uses the arrow when she murders Brenda, because she turns on the light and Brenda doesn't see anyone.
Yeah. Well, she just screams. But yeah, she could have ran at her with an arrow. Which would have been silly, but
that's a useless way to use it,
right? But then Alice, after seeing Bill's body and seeing the generator, she
freaks out.
Yeah, she rightfully so, because she just seen 2 dead bodies. Oh no, she's seen 1 dead body, and it's Bill.
Which I was confused at this point, because when they were trying to get the car, Bill was like, "Oh, everything's fine. We're probably gonna laugh about it in the morning," and he kisses her, and I'm just like, so do you like this guy, or are you seeing the adult? But I decided not to question that, because at that point I was like, one of y'all is gonna die.
Yeah. So Alice has a proper response to trauma, and she runs back to the cabin, and she's very, very startled, and she's very shaken, and she She ties the door closed so people can't break in.
To the beam.
Yeah,
in the sky.
She barricades the door, which, as I said to somebody, I would just put the piano there. I would push a piano in front of the door.
There's a piano there?
Yeah, she lives by a piano. And then I laughed and said, "Oh, she's not barricading the windows, because if you play like Call of Duty Zombies, you barricade the doors and the windows, but she's only barricading the door, so someone's gonna come through the window." And I did not know or remember that it was a body thrown through the window.
Do the most doors go in?
I think for fire reasons, like fire safety reasons, most doors go out.
Because there's been a few doors I've seen that go in.
Yeah, well, because also if you're doing things for a house, you can put the doors however you want.
Yours is also, it goes in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then...
Oh, so maybe you go in instead, because I thought it went out, because like if there's fire on the door, you don't want the door, like if there's fire on the door blocking you from escaping a fire, you don't want to pull it in and then it gets more into the house. You want to go out.
I've seen multiple of my friends' houses, the door goes in.
But yes, for fire safety, I believe you want the door to, like, if your door is a metal door. So
is it because it's a camp? And because I realized the doors
it's also
go
wooden
out.
camps. Yeah. Well, yeah, but I think doors are supposed to go out for fire and safety. But once again, maybe they did that later. But yeah, it's nonsensical, because like she barricades and then you just see Brenda's body like tied to a chair, thrown through a window.
Dude, this lady is like a She-Hulk, bro.
But we don't know who. We don't know who does it. But yeah, like for some reason this mom, because we see her run. This, not to be mean, this lady does not seem active.
Listen, there are some
scenes. She doesn't seem active at all, but she's throwing people through windows.
There are some scenes after you. Well, just read your next one.
Mrs. Voorhees, a middle-aged woman who claims to be friend of the Christies, arrives at the camp. She reveals that it is her son Jason's birthday, that he was a young boy who drowned in 1957. Now, before
57.
But before she reveals that her son is Jason and he drowned, she's like, "I'm a friend of the Christies." Alice hugs her. She's like, "Oh, what's
Alice
going on?"
is freaking out.
Well, because Alice also saw bodies fall from the
she's literally seeing this
yeah.
lady as her savior right now.
But yeah, no, like when she runs around, she sees like her friends' bodies around, and then like Steve's body comes off the Camp Crystal like sign and like falls down. And like I said, like when I saw him, like how this old lady, like she threw a body through a window, but how she get this body strung up just enough for when Alice comes out, it falls down.
As I say, she's an older version of She-Hulk.
And she and Alice is like, "Oh, people are dead, blah blah blah," and Alice, like in the beginning, Mrs. Voorhees is very calm. And she's like, and Alice is like, "Oh no, it's murder. Don't see it. It's bad." And Miss Voorhees is like, "Don't worry, sweetie. The murder won't problem.
I will protect."
Yeah. So she walks in there and she sees the murder. She's like, "Oh, she must have been. They must have been killed."
She was so young, so beautiful. Such a shame.
But yeah, she nearly broke character there. But then she broke character afterwards when she's like, "My son Jason came here. The counselors were doing sexual stuff, and my son passed." And then she attacks her after like disclosing that it's Jason's birthday today. And I'm like, "Oh, that's wild. Like you could have, not to be mean or funny, just like Annie, you could have just gotten her into the car and then got her there like you got Annie." But I'm guessing I'm being silly. She blames his death on the counselors who failed to supervise him instead of having sex. Revealing herself as the killer, she brutally attacks Alice. And she attacks Alice. It's not super brutal. She pulls out a knife, kind of slow, which Alice could have reacted a bit faster. And then yeah, and then Alice does this like 3 or 4 times in the ending sequence of the movie. She pulled like in this first time, she pulls out a fire poker and hits Miss Voorhees in the arm. And then hits her over the back and then runs away.
All I'm saying is that, well, actually, finish reading and I'll say it.
Alice flees, discovering the bodies of Annie and Steve in the process. Following a chase throughout the camp, and wait, it was Annie? So she pulled Annie from the woods.
No. Annie was in the car. Brenda was the one.
Okay. So Brenda was the one out. Was through the window. Brenda was through the window. Annie was. Yeah, you're right. Annie's in the car. Because I know it's like she ran into 2 bodies and Steve fell down.
Because we made the assumption like, hey, I know like you're dead, but either I drive off with the body or I just push her out.
But yeah, I was like, what? I'm like, because it's double wild to think this lady lady drag 80 from the woods back to the camp. Be like, you're gonna be even more in campgrounds. In the process, following a chase throughout the camp and several physical altercations, very true, Mrs. Voorhees finally confronts Alice on the lakeshore, because I think they confront each other again, and I want to say the first time it's a fire poker that Alice uses. The second time,
she punches her.
No. Miss Voorhees slaps her up, and then she pushes her down.
Alice punches her. Oh no, she hit her
with a rifle, like a BB gun.
She hit her with a bat.
Oh, yeah. No, she has a bat, but I think she drops it. Because she hits her with a rifle because she, points it at her. Yeah. And Miss Voorhees just walks towards her, and Alice does not pull the trigger. Yeah. But then, Mrs. Voorhees slaps her up. And then Alice gets the rifle again, hits her, in the tummy with the butt of the gun, and then hits her in the face again and runs off.
And then she grabs, a bat or something, and then she, bangs her. Yeah. And then she just runs away.
Yeah. And then she runs into the kitchen. She hides in the pantry, which is a dead-end place. She hides in a dead end. Miss Voorhees uses a machete to break the door. She looks at Alice with a big old smile, unlocks the door. Alice
how did she get the weapon off of her? I forgot.
Oh, the
iron pan.
Yeah. Well, Mm-hmm. She ducks. She hits the machete out of her hand and doing
the same thing. Voorhees would get her, and then Alice would miraculously what is those things called when you're playing a game? Yeah, would parry her, and then she would just knock her down and then just run away. Yeah. I'm like, girl.
She hits her twice and then runs away. And
the thing was, when the pantry one, I was like, look, hold on. The one where I can see the one where she was in the cabin and she used the fire pick. Mm-hmm. That okay, you're still scared, you're trying to process things. Okay, fine. You go to where you get the rifle. She's literally pimp slapping you, and you punch her, and then you run away again. At that point, I think at that point, what did she have? No, she didn't have a weapon yet. Mm-hmm. And so you run away. By the third time, when she pins her down, or when she corners her in the pantry, and again, Alice parries her again with a cast iron pan, and mind you, the Voorhees has a machete, and instead of taking the machete with her and just tying up Miss Voorhees, because she's an old lady, and instead of doing that, she just runs off and leaves the weapon there. Yeah. And then in my head, I'm like, listen, I might not be a good person for saying this, but at that point, as I said, it's kill or be killed. She has tried multiple times to kill me. She tried to stab me. She bit me, and she slapped me, and then she tried to choke me, strangle me, and then she tried to machete me up in the pantry. I'm breaking some knees, bro. If I'm not chopping you up, I'm using that cast iron and breaking your kneecaps, ma'am.
Well, for me, I was being honest. I'm like Miss Voorhees, if she doesn't have the Bowie knife on her anymore, all she has is a machete, and you just knocked it out of her hand. Just take the machete and throw it in the lake.
Tie her up, man. Yeah.
Because I will say there might not be any rope in the kitchen.
Or okay, if you don't want to go the brutal way, just knock her out. I
hit her 2 times, 3 separate occasions.
Whack her really good and just knock her out. You don't want to kill anyone, fine, but knock the missus out.
I would have thrown some pepper in her eyes after, and I'm like, yeah, I got you down. But yeah, for me, you could have tied her up, could have done anything. Because Annie's wearing a shirt, take off your shirt and use it to tie her up her wrist so she can't come get you or something. But she doesn't do that. She just runs to the lakeside.
And then she just sits there.
The two struggle until Alice decapitates Mrs. Voorhees with the machete. Exhausted, Alice seeks refuge inside a canoe, which she pushes out into the lake and falls asleep.
I have no idea why.
Oh, well, once again, as I said, her friends died all around the camp, and she doesn't have a car she could drive, because the car she can drive has a dead person in it. So instead of being surrounded by the dead bodies, she's like, I'll be in the canoe, which I still think is silly.
I would have just gone in the canoe. I wouldn't have gone in the water. And then she did this thing where she fell asleep with one hand in the water after everything that happened. Mm-hmm. Bruh.
And also the final fight scene, I see why Mrs. Voorhees snuck up on everybody.
She sucks.
Because she's terrible at direct confrontation.
She sure is.
Like,
man.
she's
also for a little old lady with like a cute little sweater. She is strong because again,
I do like
she
that
tied
sweater.
up.
She
Tied up Steve. She threw Brenda through the window. She was able to put Ned on that bunk bed.
Yeah.
And then, what was it? I think that was it. Oh no! She was not only that, but she was able to like throw Brenda's body through the window. But she was able to drag Brenda all the way from the archery place to the cabin.
Yeah. Also, she did.
And then she hung up Bill on the door.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Once again, she stabbed Kevin Bacon through a mattress. Unless Bill jumped, and it just so happened. Bill jumped. She's like, I got you.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like once again, she's real strong. But like when you see her fight, it is like this old lady does not have coordination. And once again, the old lady, like the lady, she probably is just an actor. You don't need hyper coordination to remember lines and like act really well. So like she's just like, I don't need to do physical training for this, and you don't, because all they did was roll around. She tried to do
during that struggle, Voorhees tried to strangle her. Voorhees bit her.
Yeah.
And at one point, I was really thinking like when Voorhees was like started to slam Alice's head against the ground. At that point, I'm surprised Alice, out of everything that happened, I'm surprised Alice thought about biting her.
For me, I thought, this is not a joke, I didn't remember how this movie ended, so I thought Alice was going to push her into the lake. And then Mrs. Voorhees is like, no, I don't know to swim. Just like the Wicked Witch of the West, be like, water,
it burns.
I thought for a fact, I really thought that this young girl was gonna like sneak attack, like maybe kick her out or like something, like push her into the lake.
Nah, bro.
But no, like she decapitates her, and then Mrs. Voorhees, with her last semblance of life with no head, grasped at her head like, oh, my head's gone.
Yeah, it just looks like she's doing no motion. But like, I don't know, that scene kind of frustrated me too, because I feel like that scene could have been prevented if she just like knocked her out really well.
Yeah, in the first place, when she knocked the knife out of her hand and then be like, I'm gonna tie this lady, because when she had the fire poker and she barricaded the room or whatever, there are ropes in there. She could have tied her up in there.
All I'm saying is that she should have knocked her out. It would have prevented that scene. It would have prevented from you trying to get machete. Shoot, it would have even prevented you from slashing off her neck, which, by the way, I don't think a machete could do a clean cut of the bone. But whatever, it's a movie, and at dawn, police officers arrive moments before Jason's decomposing corpse emerges from the lake and drags Alice underwater. She then awakens in a hospital surrounded by the police sergeant and medical staff. The sergeant says that there's no sign of a boy at the lake, and Alice replies, then he's still there.
Oh, and that is the movie. And man, this movie, I enjoyed this movie, but like you said, the ending could have been circumvented by Alice being like, hey, I'm gonna tie this lady up. Like, there's rope right
She wouldn't, well, I don't know if she would have had to go into the lake, but her going into the lake to me was pointless.
It was pointless. She just didn't want to be around the dead bodies of her friends.
Bruh.
Now, how much do you think this movie costs to make?
$2 billion.
One more time?
Million.
$2 million.
$2 million.
I thought I heard you say $2 billion.
I did.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm like, my man, if a movie costs $2 billion and this is what it looked like in the 80s, ooh.
$2 million.
It costs $500,000 to $650,000 to make, and it made worldwide. It made $60 million. So $550,000 to $650,000, and it made $60 million. So certified hit. They put, was it Miramax? Is it Miramax? Is it Paramount? Is it New Line? I think it's Paramount. Put them on the map.
Ay.
And then some fun facts for the movie. The film's primary location for Camp Crystal Lake was Camp Nobi Bosco, a functioning Boy Scout camp in Hardwick, New Jersey.
Wait, what? Say that one more time?
The camp name was Camp Nobi Bosco, a functioning Boy Scout camp in Hardwick, New Jersey. The camp, established in 1927, is still in operation by the Northern New Jersey Council of the Boy Scouts of America. While not open to the general public for tours, the camp occasionally hosts special Crystal Lake tours for fans, which often features props memorabilia from the film. The camp itself maintains a collection of memorabilia from production to commemorate its role in the film. Because I would love to be the Boy Scout that comes to the murder camp.
So were there murders in that camp?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Betsy Palmer accepted the role of Pamela Voorhees because her car broke down and she needed $10,000 for a new one.
Oh.
After her first read of the script, she called it a piece of garbage and threw it in the trash, assuming nobody would see the film. Over the years, Palmer's opinion changed as the role made her a famous horror icon.
But she still did it.
Yeah.
Because she needed $10,000.
Yeah, man. She later came to appreciate the movie, attending fan conventions and participating in documentaries to try to discuss her part in the franchise. No, but yeah, it's just like how Vincent Price, a man known for doing horror films, he's the voice on Thriller. Michael Jackson's famous song Thriller, the intro is him. Is Vincent Price. But Vincent Price, yeah, he's a big name in horror, and Vincent Price could have had royalties from Thriller is one of the biggest best sold albums in the world. He could have had royalties, but instead, I think he did that for $20,000 or $50,000. He's like, whatever, who's gonna listen to this Thriller thing? Everyone is, but people do all the time. People who don't know about the art or don't see much value in it, they're like, yeah, I'll take the money now, because just like Palmer, I need it now, so I'll take the thing now, and she's only in one movie, so it's she doesn't come back, because I think in the second movie, you see her withered body in the sweater, because the sweater talks to Jason. Once again, I thought it was just he kept her head in the sweater, because in the second movie, the girl puts on the sweater and says, hey, Jason, stop doing the murders. Oh, that's crazy. But yeah, man. Oh, also in the Friday the 13th video game that I don't think is around anymore. There's a video game? Yeah. It was really popular for maybe 3 or 4 years, but then the server shut down. But yeah, you can find Jason's mom's sweater on the island if you make it to his hideout, and if you put it on as one of the characters, you can get Jason to stop, and then that's how you guys can also win. But finding the hideout's very hard. Kind of reminds me of what's that game called where you're a group of people and Dead by Daylight. Yeah, that game's still going on. Sean S. Cunningham refused to direct the sequel because he did not like the Jason comes back from the dead storyline that the studio was pushing on him. He said that was too stupid and wouldn't work. He now admits how wrong he was as the series flourished afterward with Jason as the villain, and Jason has become one of the icons of horror films. That's very true, but I still think Sean S. Cunningham is fully correct. The Jason comes back from the dead thing is quite stupid. Okay, so these are where my questions come in. So, is Jason not dead anymore? Is he an evil spirit? Well, once again... Because if he's not, also, if he's not, you literally see a baby boy. You literally see a young boy. You see a young boy Jason pop out of the water to drag Alice back in there, right? And then all of a sudden, okay, there's one, granted that it's an imposter. Okay, I've never seen that one. Mm-hmm. I've never seen any other Jason movie until this one. But, then there's also the assumption that all of a sudden Jason is a grown man. A grown man that has murderous tendencies for some reason. It's very strange. So that means he didn't die? Or he was resurrected? Yeah, he came back from the dead, I guess. As an adult? Yeah, man. Not as a child. Well, I'm guessing there was some fish in the lake he ate. He ate fish every day, so he got strong, healthy bones. I don't know the lore. And this... but yeah, no, you don't need to know the lore. He came back in the second movie. He got his hockey mask, I believe, in the third movie. But I feel honestly, I feel like Nightmare on Elm Street makes more sense than this one. No, it doesn't. How does the pedophile get dream nightmare powers? What are you talking about? He died. I thought he made a... Okay, I'll look it up. I don't know. I don't want to know the story of Freddy Krueger. I thought there was one where he got accused that he was a pedophile. Yeah, that's why he got burned to death. Yes. He was accused of it, but I don't think he was one. I could be wrong. Okay, man. Hold on. Again, upon further investigation, it was proved he was a pedo. Yes. I apologize. So once again, I don't need this man's story. This goofball. But yes, Jason is a kid that was wrong, that hurts other kids as an adult man, which is not better. But I'm like, Sean S. Cunningham can be like, oh, but hey, at least his makes sense though to why he became a dream murderer killer. As I already said, I'm not talking about Freddy Krueger. Once again, Sean S. Cunningham is correct. The first movie's good, the second movie's good. The rest of these movies are nonsensical and not fun. Like, Jason Takes Manhattan doesn't take place in Manhattan. It takes place on a cruise ship. Jason somehow comes back to life in the future and is in space doing murders. Once again, the whole premise of Jason is I hurt teens because of sexual, well, not infidelity, but like them focusing on sex.
Yeah, but I guess my part of confusion is why? Like, how does he keep coming back? Like, doesn't he get killed off every time?
If I'm going to be honest about how movies work, money. But money. But if I'm going to be honest about this, I don't think there's ever an explanation in a movie why he came back in the second one. I think it's legit just like, hey, this guy's got some supernatural ability to keep resurrecting himself or whatever, except for the one time where he died, and then they resurrected him with lightning and like a fence post in his grave or whatever. And that's the end of our show. Next week we'll be watching Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. I can't wait to see that movie again. Do you know anything about that film, Miri?
Nope. Never heard of it.
You've never heard of it?
No. I've heard of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Just nothing in particular.
Like it and subscribe on YouTube. Follow and rate us 5 stars on Apple and Spotify podcasts. And share us with whoever will listen. Thank you for listening and have a good day.
Bye.